I'm Ellis Martin. Tim Termuende is the CEO and president of Taiga Gold Corp, trading as TGC on the Canadian Securities Exchange and TGGDF on the OTC in the U.S. Taiga Gold Corp is a mineral exploration company focusing on gold in eastern Saskatchewan, Canada. The company's flagship project is the Fisher property, located adjacent to SSR Mining Seabee gold operation property and approximately 1.5 kilometers from the Santoy Mine itself. The Fisher property is bisected by the Santoy Shear Zone along its entire length, approximately 18 kilometers, and the nearby Santoy Mine is currently producing high-grade gold from this structure. The Fisher property is under option to SSR Mining, where they are undertaking significant exploration, including drilling, with the intent of locating gold deposits for development into potential reserves. Tim, welcome back to the program. Happy January to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year to yourself as well.
We have some exciting news just across the wire.
Yeah, we hit a major milestone in our Fisher project and our relationship with SSR Mining. We just received notification and a $3 million cash payment, basically signifying that SSR has earned an 80% interest in the Fisher property in Saskatchewan, and we are now in a formal joint venture arrangement with SSR, so we'll be working with SSR hand in hand going forward to continue exploration of the Fisher property.
What does that mean when you say that you'll be working hand in hand with SSR? What does that mean?
Well, in the past few years, we've had an option agreement with SSR, so they just went about their business doing exploration on the property, giving us results, of course, as they received them, but there was no input from us. We weren't really participating in the exploration. That's changed now. As 20% partners in the joint venture, we will actually be funding part of the work and be sitting in on the discussions on future exploration of the property, which is actually quite beneficial to us too, because by sitting in on these discussions and learning exactly what SSR is looking for, that really is beneficial to us to help us explore the other projects we have in the area that SSR doesn't have an interest in.
Once you develop those projects outside of the area that SSR has an interest in, will it be potentially viable for them to become involved?
Who knows? It's down the road. We've got 6 projects in the Seabee gold operation area, and 3 of them have partners. We've got partners in SKRR Exploration, Aben Resources, and a new startup called DJ1 Capital. So they're option partners right now in the Leland, Chico, and Sam projects. We still have the Orchid and Mary Lake project that we own 100%, so we expect to be turning up the heat on those projects. We've now got a fairly sizable treasury thanks to this cash payment from SSR. We plan on deploying some of those funds to possibly drilling the Orchid and certainly advancing the Mary Lake projects.
Can you give us some idea of what you have found in the past or what SSR has found in the past with regard to the Fisher Gold project?
It's an interesting story over the last 4 years. SSR had to spend $4 million and give us $400,000 in cash. By the end of the earn-in, which just happened today to the 80% earn-in, they've spent well over $12 million on the property. They only had to spend $4 million. They spent $12 million, and they gave us in cash payments now totaling $3.8 million. So they've invested in excess of $15.5 million in the Fisher property. And you know, there is a bit of hot air in this business, and there's a lot of promotion. I'm just very happy with the fact that they have actually shown us the money. I mean, they've shown a serious commitment to the property, and I think that speaks volume for the potential of the property and the quality of the opportunity.
Well, that certainly speaks to the potential in the ground, and we don't like to speculate too much. In fact, we really can't, but there will be some drill results in a few weeks that might be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. They did a big drill program in the fall and another big sort of milestone program earlier in the spring in 2020. Some of the results from that spring program still are outstanding, and we expect to get those in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And all of the results from the fall program are outstanding. So we would like to think that they must be fairly encouraged by what they're seeing. Well, I haven't seen any results, but they must be fairly encouraged just by the fact that they triggered this joint venture and gave us a very sizable cash payment. You know, important to remind people too that we hold a 2.5% NSR on the Fisher property that is ours, Taiga's own 2.5% NSR outside of the JV. And with that NSR, we get a $100,000 advance royalty payment too from the joint venture. So we're sitting in a very good position there with the property. And again, we have other assets in the area that we plan on advancing and maybe paying a little bit more attention to now that we have significant funds in the bank. And really, we will be getting access to the exploration cookbook for that area.
So a good start to the new year.
Absolutely, yeah. We're coming out of the gate with a bang.
Let's talk about the share structure. And by the way, I am a happy shareholder. I've seen the stock perform over the last year, and there's reasons for that. The gold market market and the work you've been doing in the ground?
Yeah, we've got about 80 million shares outstanding, around 15 million further fully diluted, so under 100 million fully diluted. We have a very sizable treasury now. We've got about 3.7 million in the bank. We've got a very seasoned management group, board of directors. We're basically a mirror of Eagle Plains Resources, which was the parent company, which spun out Taiga a couple of years ago. So we've got a lot of expertise. We have a fair amount of experience now working in Saskatchewan, and we're really excited about moving forward with the project. One other thing I should point out, too, is SSR has been working hard for the last 4 years, spending in excess of $12 million so far on the property. And you have to understand that this is a very, very large property. It's about 30 kilometers from north to south, about 8 to 10 kilometers wide, give or take. And so it's a vast piece of ground. And SSR, over the last few years, has been systematically exploring along this called the Santoy Shear, which is what they're mining right now at the Santoy deposit just north of our property boundary. But they've been sort of, through a process of elimination, finding areas that are hotspots along that Santoy Shear. When they went in on the spring program, they had 6 target areas that they were planning on focusing on. They did get to 4 of those target areas, and they found significant mineralization in 4 of those target areas. So those areas now are going to see follow-up. They still haven't even tested the other 2 high-priority target areas. So we're now going from sort of a broad shotgun approach to exploration to now very focused exploration in 3 or 4 discrete areas where they know there's significant mineralization. And this is how we hope to build ounces, is by focusing now our exploration efforts in specific areas.
Well, congratulations to you on all of your efforts. I'm looking forward to more news, of course. We all are as shareholders and potential shareholders. Definitely take a look at Taiga Gold Corp. Tim, thanks so much for joining me today on the program.
Thank you very much, Ellis, and have a great 2021.
I've been speaking with Tim Termuende, the president and CEO of Taiga Gold Corp, trading as TGC on the Canadian Securities Exchange and TGGDF on the OTC in the U.S. Find the company on the web at taigagold.com. That's Taiga gold.com. I'm Ellis Martin.
You may assume that Ellis Martin is a shareholder on any of the companies that sponsor the Ellis Martin Report, which means he has a vested interest potentially in them.